All right, the tools I normally use is my 2mm, my 9, my elastomer eraser, the tiny one, and then these two, here and there. So what you want to do, when you're learning the process of drawing, illustration process, is you're gonna focus on shapes. Nobody wants to hear this, but here's the cool part. I have a downloadable right here. Go to that website, honestlyproductions.com. So what I'm gonna do is break down the guide so you can understand. Your focus should be creating these rectangular pieces here for yourself. We used to do this when I was back in high school. And you're gonna focus on the pressure control. Now, I am using an HB lead for my 2mm, and I tend to use HB for the rest. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put HB leads right there. It's not really HB leads. They're using other materials for the leads, but it's just what we still call it is leads. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and start with the darkening of the throw down here, and then we're gonna go light. You see the pressure? Pressure control is extremely important when learning how to illustrate. A lot of people don't get that. They just go straight into drawing, and then they wonder why their stuff doesn't look great. It's because the fundamentals has to do with the actual pressure control and the sketching process. If you don't understand those two things together, you're gonna have issues. Now, the real job here is to go ahead and finish it off so there's a nice gradient. You can go ahead and go over it until you feel that it actually works the way you need it to look like. Look how dark it is here. Look how much more darker it's looking over here. So I'm adding more pressure and bringing it down just a hair more and lightening up the pressure here. So now there's a difference. See that difference? That's what you want to be focusing on. I'll add more pressure and continue to lighten towards the end. This is what you're going to be looking for. This is going to aid you in focusing better on your sketching and in your final lines, because there's pressure that you add with your fingertips, whether it be with inking or pencils, because with pencils, the lead itself has a flat end here, and then if you twist it, it's going to have a sharp end because you're grinding the pencil lead down. So you have to be very astute as to when to flip your pencil lead. See that? So you're constantly going to see artists do this. They're flipping it around, right? Because they're trying to get a specific feel and look. If not, you have to be switching pencils because this is a thinner point, but I can create the same thing with this. So focus on doing blocks and filling in your gradients. That's gonna help you with pressure control. Learn pressure control. I cannot say that word enough. Pressure control is going to be key. It's gonna be one of your top essential tools in drawing. Just a fact. Sorry. A lot of people don't want to know that, but it's like, well, there it is. It's not draw, 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 or practice, practice, practice. Those two combined with this is what's going to make you a better artist, better illustrator. The next thing we're going to learn is shapes. We learned pressure control. Now let's focus on shapes. With pressure control, I can draw a decent circle. I'm drawing from my shoulder. I'm spinning my hand around, and I'm using the ball joint on my shoulder and no pressure on my elbow on the table. Don't lean on the table because it's gonna hinder you. Now you can put your pressure on your wrist here and then focus, but then this is where you're gonna be drawing from. So this is good for like smaller things. Okay, you can get it, because you're not gonna use your entire shoulder for a small circle, okay? You can do a medium circle, which is fine, but it's gonna be based off of your comfort level. So go ahead and utilize that to help you out. Squares, same thing. My pressure is coming in lightly from putting my wrist on the table as I'm moving. See that? So that I'm not locked in and doing this. See that? I am actually moving and getting a light pressure on the lead. Let the lead do the job for you, okay? Let it do the work for you. That's the whole point of getting a nice softer lead. If you're heavy-handed, which means that you like to press down, you're gonna need a harder lead. I would suggest a 2H or a 4H. Anything beyond a 4H is gonna be, I mean, you would have to be really working with some grainy paper, or you're extremely heavy-handed, which at that point you're not heavy-handed. It's just the paper grain is very thick and you're gonna wanna use a 6H if possible. So once again, circles, squares, and triangles is something you wanna focus on when learning. It doesn't mean that you're gonna sit here and draw this and go through the motions. Do not do that. So many people, I'll tell you, countless times I would have told people to do this, and countless times they come back with just shapes on a page and they try to show me. I'm like, don't show me. That's not for me to see. It's for you. This is so you can learn, okay? I'm not a teacher in that sense where you need to show me your okay, here's the assignment, it's done. That's not how that works. You got to do this on your spare time. It's got to be your mental go-to place whenever you feel like you've hit a wall. So when I hit a wall, I like to go straight to drawing debris, right? Because drawing debris is just nothing but shapes, and I can focus on my pressure control, my line weights, and adding character, and even shadow work, okay? This is my go-to spot. This is like my mantra. If you feel like you're in doubt of how you're drawing that day, you go back to your special place. You know what I'm saying? And that's what this is for me, is I just draw debris because it's easy for me to go ahead and get all that funkiness out of my wrists and my fingertips, because sometimes you can be a little bit stiff and rigid and you have to practice. So this is equivalent to a warm-up. So utilize this as a warm-up session before you start drawing, and then start sketching. See that? So now it's not about going through the motions, it's about me understanding. And the more you illustrate, the faster you're gonna get. See that? The next step is having fun with the shapes. So if I'm gonna draw something very fast, let's have fun with the shapes. Let's see what we can do with it. See that? Now we're just enjoying the process of drawing and trying to just have fun with the shapes, and even draw through just so you can see that there's a rhyme and reason for why things happen. See? And then you enjoy the process. And draw simple and slow. You're not going to screw it up. It's a sketch. You can go back and use these bad boys to erase and fix the areas that you need to fix. See that? And there it is. Process of enjoying this. The process of gradient, understanding the pressure control, utilizing shapes, and then having fun with the shapes. Once you learn this, everything else is easy. I'll see you guys in the next episode.